I'm Rick Kahler. Thanks for joining me. Have you ever seen the letters in all caps, BYOB? Well, I'm sure you have, and sorry, I'm not inviting you to a bring your own beverage party. I'm warning you away from a get-rich scheme called Be Your Own Banker. This idea has floated around the internet and late-night television for some time now. One of the latest versions that I've seen is touted on a website that I'm not going to name because I don't really want anybody getting sucked into what is essentially one step from being a scam. Once you drill down past the initial layers of ambiguity, the basic concept seems simple enough. You buy a large whole life insurance policy, and after you pay into it for several years, it will accumulate cash value. Then, anytime you make a major purchase, like a new car, you can borrow against your insurance policy instead of going to a bank. Now, according to the people selling this concept, you are the big winner here because you're paying interest to yourself, not the bank. Well, the BYOB salespeople are incredible marketers. This must be where political campaign managers ply their trade in between elections. They blast our financial system. They blast banks. Last thing you ever want to do is to deal with a bank and a banker and pay interest. They blast mutual fund managers and financial advisors. They profess to care about the customers they're selling stuff to, which they call clients, which is a misnomer because a client is a legal term meaning a fiduciary responsibility. The half-truths and misstatements from these sellers are enough to elevate the blood pressure of any fee-only financial planner. They use terms like depositing cash into a life insurance policy and having control of your own banking system. Amid all this unbelievable double talk, they forget to mention one little detail. All that money that you invest in your bank, which is your whole life insurance policy, is paid in the form of premiums. You aren't paying it to yourself. You're paying it to a large life insurance company, which, by the way, are an integral part of the financial system they blast. Let's look at some actual numbers. You could pay $12,500 a year in premium for a $125,000 whole life insurance policy. In 4 years, after paying in a total of $50,000, you would have $46,110 in your account. Yeah, that's less than you put in as the fees and premiums add up to be more than the growth rate of the policy. You can borrow then up to 90% of the net value, or $41,500. Now, to borrow this money out, you're going to pay the company 5% a year to access that money, to access your own money. Supposedly, the interest is paid to yourself and adds to the cash value of the policy. But a deeper look shows that the interest you pay yourself must be over and above the interest paid to the company, which is just another name for a premium. The insurance company charges you interest regardless of the, quote, interest that you pay yourself. So what happens if you don't pay back the loan? Well, the interest keeps compounding, adding to the amount of the loan and eating up the cash value of the policy. This could eventually leave you facing some nasty tax consequences, potentially including having to pay income taxes on phantom income. Instead of paying that $12,500 a year in premiums, you could put it into a deductible 401k plan and invest the funds in a diversified portfolio. Same thing the insurance company is going to do, but without the fees. You'd be even better off to put it into a taxable account. Then if you needed a new car or a water heater, you'd have the cash. You wouldn't have to borrow from the insurance company or even yourself. And then if you're borrowing from yourself, you get to keep all the interest you charge yourself. After spending hours, and I mean hours, researching Be Your Own Bank, my staff and I understand what BYOB really means. It stands for Bring Your Own Bottle of Pain Reliever. You'll need it for the headache of trying to understand that this slick advertising scheme makes no sense for anyone except those selling the life insurance policy. Thanks for joining me.